We didn't know what this was for a long time at school because it was on the diary, the weekly diary, and it was this acronym, NPSBLA or something like that. And we had weekly prizes in the staff meetings when we discussed the diary about what it might be, but it has had a big effect on our school. Karen's gone missing, and whenever Karen goes missing in our school, chaos ensues. But it's actually been really, really exciting that she's been involved in this. What I decided to do was not go on and pontificate about the value of this. It's clear the value of it is huge. But I thought I'd read what I wrote in my response to the organisation about Karen, what she's actually done, because I think it actually says what a head needs. Okay, Karen is what we call, she's over there, she's really ill and she's probably highly embarrassed now. Karen is what we call our systems manager. Not many schools have one of them, but she's a systems manager. She is our expert in ICT, electronic assessment and attendance, which are all crucial aspects of our work as a successful school. Before participating in NPSLBA, and while participating, Karen has been and is a very important member of our senior management team. She has recently taken her work to new levels of excellence. She is a dedicated, highly enthusiastic professional who brings a very human touch to all her work and relationships. Karen is imaginative in her work on attendance, instigating numerous initiatives and then working fastidiously to ensure that they are successful. She is persuasive with her fellow senior managers, particularly with her head teacher. Her style is strong where it needs to be. I mean, one of the things we do is extra playtimes for the children who have had 100% attendance every half term. And I have to go out and be there with them and well, I do table tennis, don't I? So I do enjoy that. But whatever I'm doing, I have to give it up, and she makes me do it. Her style is strong where it needs to be, with parents who are not cooperating, and we do have some of them, with staff who are not following clearly laid out systems, and those who are not showing rigour in registration. God help them. She can at the same time be highly supportive and empathetic where and when it is required. Her initiatives for improving attendance include electronic registration, which is happening in most schools now, but she does it. We have our attendance tree, which is a place of pride for the children. Reward playtimes, half-termly, termly and annual certificates of achievement, weekly class trophies, prizes which she gains from a plethora of sources, and most recently she organised a reward picnic for the leading Key Stage 1 class.
My name's Darryl Williams and I work for Southend Local Authority and Southend Education Trust. In the last 12 months I've worked with a range of teachers on some of our most challenging situations we find in Southend today in our schools. It's been inspiring because of the way that people have worked together and shared their time and expertise to look at some of our most challenging and entrenched issues. It's been a privilege to work with them, and I know the work will change people's lives in our schools in Southend.
So initially on the NPSLBA course, as I tended to call it, which raised quite a laugh sometimes, although we were positive in our approach to the challenge, we didn't really feel that we would actually learn anything new about behaviour. However, upon reflection, we felt that we'd been on quite a learning journey.
As the course went on, the theories we were introduced to worked to affirm the behaviour strategies we already used, although quite a few of them were nicked from other colleagues. This was an excellent tool for reflection. It helped to tighten up our practice and refocus us on the rudiments of behaviour management within the classroom. The cluster sessions gave the opportunity to discuss ideas and issues that were occurring within our own work settings. These discussions provided guidance and a renewed vigour and interest for working with others to help improve behaviour and attendance. In my school, I worked with LSAs on behaviour strategies using questionnaires and a workshop. This really helped some of them to feel like their opinions are being listened to and encouraged the sharing of good practice amongst them. I also supported other members of staff from different departments with behaviour management by joint planning, observations and team teaching.
I also used questionnaires the main response came back from LSAs, which led on to me running a workshop. This allowed the LSAs, who are also lunchtime assistants at our school, to refocus their practice during lunchtime. The result of this is organised activities, which in turn are starting to lead to a decrease in inappropriate behaviour at lunchtime. Despite finishing the course, I've continued to monitor this half-termly with the LSAs, who now feel they have a strong voice and ownership of the project. Looking forward, I hope to see this impacting on a more settled learning environment in afternoon sessions.
The biggest part of learning for myself and Lynn was when we planned together for our first cluster session. The first obstacle was finding convenient times to meet, so we set aside an evening
with plenty of biscuits and lots of tea,
which resulted in a second evening with more tea, biscuits
and this time a pizza.
During the planning, we looked at and discussed theories together. It became interesting when we started to view it from a cross-phase perspective. We feel this is when the programme really became meaningful to us.
One of the benefits, I think, of working in Southend is that there is a real collaborative approach to the way that schools operate and the way that staff develop. And certainly the people who led the programme put an awful lot of time into thinking about that collaboration, and they very deliberately got people from different settings and got people from different kind of levels of responsibility, if you like, different jobs within different settings, and made sure that we were all mixed up. And I think that really goes along with what the Southend Education Trust have been trying to do, is have that collaborative view, you know, rather than one person working in a school in isolation to do something. If they can do that but work alongside others, we're not constantly reinventing the wheel, and when we do get something that gives us a benefit, the benefit is spread across the whole of Southend rather than just in one educational establishment.
Right, well, where to start really following all of that, because I think everyone's nicked what I was going to say. Certainly, as Gillian was saying at the beginning, long journey. And I think to begin with, certainly myself and probably all of the people in my cluster group, we were quite wary of what we'd actually signed up for. And I think a few of us after the first study day thought, that's it, I'm out of it. But we stuck with it. And a couple of other key words that I think I've heard tonight. One was the word bonding, and certainly the cluster sessions and the cluster group, the way that we worked together, created that. And you had, as has already been said, a mixture of people from different phases, different levels of responsibility, that terrible non-teaching phrase, as if it's somehow you're not as important. But there was then the change that started to happen. And I think once that became apparent, we started to gain a lot more confidence in the NPSLBA, but also you could see that developing in people. Their personal confidence was starting to grow. And you could see that then because there was an impact that was then being had in the schools. And when we met as cluster groups, it was great to be able to share in that with people, because they would talk about things that they'd been working on, their activities they were doing between cluster sessions, and seeing people proud of what they've done and being able to talk about the impact that what they'd done was having on the young people in their school and the adults in their school as well. That was really, really good. I think the other real strength is the reflective nature of the NPSLBA. We're very busy people and we work in an environment which is very quick changing. The challenge that we have today isn't the same challenge necessarily that we have the next day. And we tend to solve problems, move on and forget what we've done. And the reflective nature of it meant that we had to think about what we'd done. And it's good because that gets you that confidence of thinking, well, I started at this point and I planned this and I've worked through it and I've worked with other people, and now there is this real impact and it can be measured, it can be seen, and that's a really, really good thing.
Thank you, everybody.